All right, good afternoon, Speed Gaming 2. Another Super Metroid Randomizer League race, another boss rando race. We have Maniacal versus Magoo, the slow versus the French Force. My name is Tracy M. With me today is Antinomy. How you doing, Antinomy? Or should I start calling you Seth?
Is
Because you're
yeah,
not.
Seppi.
We've had a recent name change and a little bit behind on catching that up on the display. But Sephi, how you doing?
I'm good. Thank you, Tracy, for having me jump on board for another exciting matchup. We have Magoo versus Maniacal. Should be a pretty good race. Really bad seed. I'm always going to say really good races, bad seeds when it comes to boss randos.
We've definitely had some interesting seeds during the last week. Although not all of them are bad. I mean, if you ask Kip, his seed was pretty darn good, getting a 43,
Yeah,
which is absolutely insane for a boss rando.
that actually is. It's just my bias. Obviously, at least, being on the audience side, you don't have to experience it. You can just kind of vicariously live through these runners and maybe feel their joys and their pains and what have you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I
Yeah.
mean, you just had your race too, so
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I call Magoo longtime members of the Super Metroid and the Super Metroid Randomizer communities. So very good runners. Maniacal, I'd call one of our definitely up towards the top. Magoo, no slouch himself. So this could be a really good one. Let's hope for a really good one.
yeah, it should be. It's been interesting to see how Maniacal just carries his entire team, though. I will have to.
I see one of his teammates in chat who might take offense to that, but
If it's derp, I can understand. Otherwise, I'm just kidding. Nah, really, really, really good stack. I always loved French Force from like the get go. They have
for sure.
like such a nice group of members. And
Yeah,
then
absolutely.
Maniacal Solsky, as you mentioned, just vets to randomizers, especially Link to the Past, and Maniacal getting a start with Super Metroid. I've always been appreciative of him.
Yeah, and Derp, their third member, I think is one of the more underrated players
Really is.
in the Super Metroid Randomizer community. I think he's lot better. He can sneak up on you. He's very, very good.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that won bingo, right? Anti double or
Yeah,
double anti bingo.
he won. He was second place in the summer tournament, and I want to say he won the SG Live
Yep,
tournament.
he did. So I mean, it's always good to see him like participate in tournaments and really good commentator as well.
Oh, absolutely.
You're right.
One
You're
of the
right
best.
that just underrated and definitely someone to behold.
All right, we did get both power bombs and supers in our early checks, which is really, really nice. Our spacer beam, our major item. Maniacal sees missiles and decides doesn't want them this early, so Magoo decides to pick up those missiles.
Yeah, that's a really nice check. Actually, I might have to steal that. That's the only reason I send up for commentary is just to steal the decision making skills that Maniacal I feel is known for. Making some really good plays, and obviously,
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. I mean, he has a really good mind for randomizer. Both the Link to the Past, and although he doesn't do a whole lot of the Link to the Past only, but definitely top 5 in SMZ3. So very experienced in randomizers in general. We see an E-Tank at Bomb Torizo, so no Bomb Torizo fight. I'm sure the runners will be happy about that.
yeah, it's always nice. It always feels like you're at least that false sense of feeling like tasked, because it's always been the dream to skip out on the first mini boss. And it teases you, like the fact that the door closes right behind you and you're so close to escaping.
I know. Okay, let's see what Terminator has for us. Another E-Tank.
I'm really glad, although I might just be like shooting myself in the foot saying this, but I'm glad that we just neglected Spazer overall. I think that's progression in the mentality. No, Spazer is a really good beam to kind of just start off with because honestly, it can save your life and it doesn't complicate your life as far as one-shotting enemies.
Yeah, I like Spazer early. I don't like Spazer late. And when I say late, I mean pretty much anytime after you get Plasma Beam, I don't like to see it. The one exception, if Suitless Meridia is in your future and you don't have Wave Beam, sometimes worth just switching over to Ice Spazer instead of Ice Plasma, so you don't accidentally kill crabs and fish that you don't want to actually kill.
It's a good point because of the piercing ability that Plasma has. You can accidentally kill your platforms. So many E-tanks, though.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Maniacal finally picks up his first missile pack. We gotta pick up some. I mean, I guess you don't have to necessarily pick up some at some point, but yeah,
Yeah, I feel
3
like if
energy
they
tanks
happen to
early.
be, if they happen to be in the way, I feel like it
Yep.
would kind of make sense.
Absolutely.
And I don't know, maybe missiles are at least a little bit more expendable. Because I always kind of like have it in my head that I want to keep my super count usage like to a minimum.
Yeah.
So that I can have that ammo for Ridley or something.
Yeah, and I also like to keep. I like to have enough missiles, or keep picking up missiles until, for me, two things happen. One, charge beam. Once you have charge beam, then at least you know you're not going to soft lock it in any boss fights. But also, since I can't speed Zeb skip, I always have that in mind that I might
Oh,
need to have enough missiles for that. Now I know Maniacal can do it if he has to. I suspect Magoo can also do it if they have to. And there's charge beam, so that's going to probably stop them from picking up as much ammo. Charge Spazer, not the strongest beam. That's still a 150 shot Mother Brain fight, but it's definitely better than just the Pea Shooter.
only 150. I do also want to point out really quick because it just happened so quickly. Magoo did get that reverse
Yeah.
Mach-Ball. So again, it just goes to show that there's gonna be some rooms that Magoo has to know who he's up against, and he's gonna be like more than willing, especially picking up charge early. I feel like sometimes that's kind of almost a dangerous play because when you find charge early, you kind of get this mentality of like, okay, well, I don't really have to pick up as much ammo for
Yep.
bosses, but you never know if you'll find something like wave or plasma. So it's
Yeah.
still something that they want to be on the lookout for.
Yeah, I mean, like we talked about the number of shots. It's also the same for Ridley, and it's much faster to kill Ridley with supers than say a charge Spazer only fight. Yeah, let's see what's at the wave gate. Oh yeah, and Spazer already obsolete.
Yeah,
Plasma beam.
it's a waste of time. That's why. Yeah, I mean, that's not even a bias at this point from me, but at the very same time, yes, it is good. Good quick attempts though on the wave gate glitch for both runners.
Yep. Got one more major in this area.
So, what do you think is gonna be the play? Because I think one of the most exciting parts of, especially Boss Rando, is speed booster at
Speed booster's
charge.
nice.
Yeah, going up or down Red Tower.
So I tend to like going up if you have a suit, especially if you have the ability to, up ammo, or in this case, charge beam for a Ridley fight. We don't have a suit here, so now you're at 50% chance of having a boss that you can kill instead of 3/4. On the other hand, you do have that speed booster, so you can get across pretty easily. So I don't think it would be. A lot of people don't like the play to wreck ship early. I don't really have a problem with it, especially if you can do it efficiently in terms of getting there. If you take a red tower save, you can warp right back. I'm not a fan of the actual wreck ship save, which is open in Boss Rando.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And if you're willing to, just commit to checking it, because it gives you a lot of information.
Yeah, I think if I have a suit, I will definitely probably head down Red Tower. But I don't know.
I'm saying if you have a suit, I would go up. But
yeah,
we'll see what these guys do.
For me, I would go down. Because I feel like there's like in my race yesterday, I had Varia, and I felt like it just felt good to go down.
Sure. There's never anything wrong with going down.
Yeah, no, not at all. Like either way, like it's a really just tough call to make because you can never really truly know. Now with that said, however, yeah, like so you could possibly like bump into Dragon and not have gravity or something.
Yep.
Makes it much
Yeah, right
but
now,
oh,
without
go ahead.
yeah, without Varia, Ridley's not viable with this ammo and energy. And I mean, they've got a decent beam right now, 40 shot really fight, but yeah, they'd need a lot more health to get through it. If they run into Dragon, they have no way to get out because they don't have things like no grapple beam, not enough ammo for a crystal flash to do the RBO strats. So really, you're gonna want to take a save before that. That's gonna make the beam combination better. That wave beam.
Much better.
And getting closer to a point where it might even be viable to do a Ridley fight without a Varia suit. I would say you'd want a few more tanks, even with this beam combination. 24 shot fight now. And we'll see if Maniacal goes down into do the high jump boots checks and some of these upper Norfair checks before he checks the boss. I like the save down here better. Again, just a lot less backtracking if you have to reset out of the boss fight.
Oh, I had not considered that. Yeah, because you mentioned the save at Red Tower right before Fantoon. Should you go up Red Tower? That's also, I feel to me, like normally I'm not a gauntlet check type of person, like from the get-go. And I would consider checking Fantoon kind of like the equivalent of gauntlet checking. But I think the reason I prefer it doing like going up Red Tower first is because of what you said, the info, and I feel like the info is much more valuable.
Yeah.
At this just because of this rando, you'll never. Oh,
nice. There's my favorite item, that space jump.
Yep. That's forever.
Very nice movement item. Now, if and when the wreck, well, eventually they have to go to wreck ship. When they do go there, they just have to be able to just space jump over, easy peasy. Maniacal doesn't want those power bombs. I'm not sure how much time he saved not picking them up, considering that he had to avoid them the way he did, but he definitely saved a little bit of time not picking them up. Let's see if he does the Ice Beam Hell Run right now. Yeah, he's going to do the Ice Beam Hell Run first, I think. And then we'll see if he checks the Kraid location. A little surprised he didn't do this first. With this much energy, the idea being if you get an E-Tank at high jump boost, then you get to get your health back. Now, that wouldn't have happened here since it was a space jump.
Yeah, normally check that on the way down. I have seen some people check it on their way out, so like they would completely skip this out. But I think if that's usually like if they have a good amount of items already, like if someone's already had Varia or something, and they're planning on banking a croc check, I believe is what I've seen.
And this is plenty of health, even after he gets out of here, that if he wants to do hell runs instead of going and checking the boss, that he can. We'll see what he decides to do, though. Could also go straight to Croc. And that might be the play here. Yeah, I think that's Maniacal's play here. You could go straight to Croc. I mean, with this beam combo, Croc gets one shot, so... His space jump, picking up the item, is not at all dangerous.
Yeah, that's actually very, very true because, yeah, space jump is just such quality of life. It looks like Magoo is also following suit.
Yeah, doing exactly the same thing. It's kind of bad for Magoo. I mean, I feel like Magoo is saying, well, this is something Maniacal wouldn't do, so it's beneficial to me. And of course, as it turns out, it's exactly what Maniacal's saying.
As far as whether it pays off, we'll see. There's many other ways that they could like branch out eventually.
Oh wow, oh baby, there's a gravity suit. So Croc with the goods here.
That's a very good find. Still, with Varia at large, don't know how to feel. Ice would be nice. Wario is obviously, the item to look for at this point, and that would essentially just be about it. Maybe just
Yep.
a few more, maybe just a
We
little
need some
bit more
super
ammo.
missiles.
Yeah, just for
Imagine
comfort.
super missile go mode. Let's go. I mean, technically, it wouldn't quite be what it was, but save areas down
Right.
here.
To entertain
We still
your
want some more super missiles. And this is a
Oh,
play I've seen Maniacal do a lot. I don't understand why, even with Speed Booster and Space Jump, he wants to do this gate glitch.
yeah. I don't know about this one.
Hopefully, he just goes down and just does the play now. There we
Yeah.
go. I've seen him do that before, and maybe he's timed it out and found it faster, but I don't know. I know that's a conscious decision on his part because I've seen him do it a lot lately.
It would really make me wonder though, because in 100% you just come straight down too.
Maybe.
So,
And X-ray scope, and you know what? You've got the rest of the microwave items. You
yeah.
haven't actually killed any bosses, so that's actually a super useful item in this case. My X-ray is just one of those items that just depends on when you pick it up, whether it can be of any use.
Yeah, you'd have to be me to skip it. Even with like the full loadout.
And the next question is, do we go to Bubble Mountain to do the rest of the hell runs, or do we go to again go to the Kraid boss again? Now we're 3 out of 4. Only Ridley is not defeatable right now. We're not that far off though from Ridley in terms of health with this beam combination. Looks like Maniacal's heading over towards Bubble Mountain.
I guess with the mobility, having speed booster and space jump, it would make these pretty quick. There's no real need to rush bosses so much as a priority right now.
Yeah.
Given just because you don't know what you might bump into.
Yeah, Space Jump is a great item for hell runs in general. It just makes getting through and around Bubble Mountain that much easier. Just the movement is just, even without high jump. Now, if you had high jump too, then even better. Screw attack. Some of the hell runs just become absolutely free.
Oh.
And Magoo, interesting. Not doing Bubble Mountain, just going out this way instead of going out the Croc Escape. Both of them taking saves. So this Magoo save is to mitigate that if it's Ridley at the Kraid boss.
And then for Maniacal, I guess it would just be, if this happens to be a bust, like only reserves and E-tanks.
Yep. I mean, it's a bit of a safety too, but Ice Beam. There we go. Okay, we got full beam for Maniacal. Not even 20 minutes in. I'm jealous. I only found Wave Beam in my race. Still no supers though. It's just like, where are all the supers? In fact, we were talking about this in another race. It's not uncommon for the way the barrier randomizer works to gate all your supers behind a late super, or same thing with power bombs. But usually, once you find that first super, and we found it pretty early, it's kind of unusual to be this late for other supers. So very, very odd that we have not found any more super missiles yet. And
yeah, I think
about to check.
This is somewhat new to me. Oh,
it's a Ridley. Is he even gonna try this? Yeah, he's not trying this.
There's no need to.
No reason to. Yeah, Maniacal turns that Ice Beam off to make farming a little bit faster. It actually makes a difference, I feel like, in hell run situations. Not worth the menu time in a non-hell run situation.
I feel like it's kind of good though that Ridley was at Kraid. Just because what Maniacal is finding at Bubble Mountain is looking to be really, really good.
Yeah, Ice Beam and high jump boots, outside of area, those are probably the two best things you can find here.
Yeah, because imagine finding Wario right behind Ridley, or at least not even if it was like Ridley. Like if
Well,
Magoo could
Barry's
have killed
not gonna be.
Ridley,
Yeah,
but
Barry's not gonna be behind Ridley. It's like the one place.
yeah,
Plus
but
lower
if
Norfair
it were
locations.
the boss that
Yep.
Magoo could have killed, and then
Mhm.
it had Varia behind it, I don't know if Magoo'd be checking these items.
Oh, for sure. That's like, yeah, absolutely. Like if Kraid, if Kraid is there, you got a couple locations. If Bantoon's there, you got a couple locations. Is Maniacal gonna just do? Okay, he's just gonna go do this without any kind of save. He's got plenty of health for this, especially with that space jump and with a high jump making it even better.
Oh,
And with Wave Beam, he can just come back this way. He actually saves a little bit of time that way. Hey, look, a super pack.
that should be ammo mode. I
I mean,
guess I'll start calling
25-10.
it.
What is it? 15-10 for the top times and any percent. 20-10 is probably your standard, and then 25-10 if you're me and you want a little bit extra in an any percent run. So the 25-10 Maniacal should be very comfortable, especially with this beam combination.
Oh, Magoo was cutting it close, but thankfully he was able to reach the farm spot just in time.
Yeah, he's got that ice beam on, so it's gonna make his farming a little bit slower. Meanwhile, Maniacal's gonna get out of here, and we'll see if he checks the Ridley boss. I suspect he'll save and check it. Interesting for Maniacal. Interesting for both these runners at this point. Now they know where Ridley is, they can just go to any other boss location and know that they're going to be able to defeat whatever boss they find.
Yeah, I think that's usually the biggest worry. I know, like, if you don't have any suits, the biggest worry is maybe for me, it'd probably be more scary bumping into Dragon with Varia than Ridley with Varia.
Yeah, I think it depends on your loadout. Like in my race yesterday, I had a situation where I didn't know what boss was coming up, and I knew it could be Ridley, and I thought maybe I should farm up because I had enough health and enough max supers that I could just do the Ridley fight if it came up. But I didn't want to farm, so I didn't, and it was Ridley, and I sadly had to reset.
Yeah.
Oh, this is an interesting save to take. So I think Maniacal's going to take this save here at the tube, and then check out who the boss is over at Kraid, and be able to just go straight to Meridia if it's Ridley, which of course we know it is.
Right. Yeah, this is very, very good.
Magoo gets his second super pack, so he's got enough ammo now.
Yeah, this is why I am a fan of how Maniacal ends up playing. It's because
Oh, for sure.
a really good meta, I guess, to say is for boss randos is knowing where the saves are and like what could, like, I feel like that save station right below the tube is severely underused.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I really am a fan of that.
And we see the reset because it's Ridley, and he's not surviving that fight with his current loadout. Honestly, he's not that far from being able to survive that, but right now, not there yet. So I think this will be a play into Meridia. He knows whatever boss is there he can beat, so you can just kind of do a nice Meridia loop and check the 4 items. He won't be able to check Plasma unless unless it's Dragon. And he won't. I mean, he could do a nice clip to Shacktool. I don't see Maniacal doing that.
Magoo is near death. Doesn't seem like he wants to waste his, or at least let his ammo go away for a crystal flask. So he's just gonna farm up here. I'm almost positive that he's gonna feel the need to check Meridia as well.
Yeah, I think that's where he heads next as well. He's already got the intel that it's Ridley at Kraid, so he also knows that no matter what boss is over here at Meridia, he will be able to defeat it. Interesting he turns off Ice Beam now. After the farm.
Yeah. Okay, well, with this, we'll see what's hidden behind Batoon, unless for whatever reason Monaco decides to check the reserve location here. But I
Yeah,
feel like that's something you could pick up on the way out.
Yeah, I really like this little Meridia loop, as I like to call it, where you go Mama Turtle to Botswoon, to Dragon to Sandpit. Now, of course,
Yeah.
this won't be Dragon, or it could be Dragon. I mean, we don't know. We just know it's not Ridley. And then you check the Sandpit on your way out. We'll get a nice quick microwave here. Now let's see what the Botswoon item is. Looks like an E-Tank.
Yeah.
At this point, Manacle's got 6. There's really no reason for him to pick that one up. If he wants stand-up, he can. I'm sure there'll be another one at some point that he can pick up. Okay, Sephi, what do you think the boss is going to be here? What's your call?
I feel like this boss is going to be Fantoon.
Okay,
just for the sake of opening up more locations at
I'll say Kraid to be different. One of us is right. Oh, you caught it! You called it. Nice.
The only reason I would have assumed Fantoon is just because it opens up. But yeah. Like you said, the only reason you chose Kraid was because to have it, vary. But
yeah, it had to be different.
Yeah, I feel like Fantoon killing and then opening up Wreck Ship with the potential, to have Varya hidden somewhere in Wreck Ship seemed likely.
Yeah.
Now we don't know what's like at Shaq2 or Plasma, but that's pretty much what I was banking on.
So I wonder if Maniacal checks the left sandpit, or if he heads straight to the Wreck Ship, or he could do the old SMZ3 save scum and check the left sandpit and reset back to Aqueduct. It'll be interesting to see what decision he makes here. I kind of like the latter play. If you do that and it's Varia, then you just keep going. And if it's pretty much anything else at this point, you probably just go to the Wreck Ship. I mean, at this point, the only... Like, Screw Attack would be a really nice item, but Screw Attack not as... when you have full beam combo with this Plasma Beam, I feel like Screw Attack is almost redundant, but it's certainly a nice item if they find it.
Yeah, with Screw Attack, it would speed up Norfair or lower Norfair by a lot, but it's definitely not necessary.
Meanwhile, Magoo is going to head over to his Fantoon, what we know now is a Fantoon fight. See if Maniacal even decides to check the sandpit. Looks like he's just going to ignore the sandpit. If that's Varia and Magoo checks it, that'll be really huge for Magoo. If it's literally anything else, then Maniacal will have saved a good chunk of time by not checking it. And if Magoo skips it, they'll be on an even playing field there.
I do wonder what would have been Maniacal's reasoning for not checking the sandpit. At least, save scumming it.
Yeah. I guess it's a slow check. It's an annoying check. I don't blame anybody for not wanting to do that check. It's a terrible check. Here we go with the microwave on Magoo's side.
I don't know. I always doubt myself, but I'm pretty sure for boss randomization, seeds, there still can't be any suits over at Gauntlet, correct?
That is correct. Next week when we do the random start, then all that just forget any rules you ever knew about where items could be, because it's full rando and random start's going to do funny things. But here, yeah, we still play with the suits can't be in criteria, suits can't be in Bluebird Star.
Now, okay, so what Maniacal did is he ended up skipping the Wreck Ship E-Tank location. He could get that on the way up, but I've wondered, because I did this same check first, the one over here. I think I don't know if you would check the E-Tank first. But I
No.
think the reason I do this is because it's a little bit closer. You can take out a boss
Yeah.
as well
So
quickly, and then
so
if it's not what you expect, you check the E-Tank afterwards.
so if I don't know for sure that it's a boss I can beat, so say Ridley hadn't shown up yet, and we don't have area, then I probably save and maybe check the E-Tank before the other items. We know this. We don't know for sure whether this is Dragon or Kraid, but either way, it's a beatable boss. So I definitely do things in the exact order Maniacal's doing them, and then hit that E-Tank, and then the bowling locations right afterwards.
Uh,
Okay, we're gonna get a moment of truth here on Magoo's side. What do we have? We have a spring ball, and he's gonna reset that, and I don't blame him. The spring ball is a great item, but at this point, with high jump and space jump, it really doesn't do much for us. Maniacal missing that quick kill. He knows how to deal with Kraid. Shouldn't take him too long. Actually, he could just fire a charge shot. I think it'll finish him off. Yeah, there we go.
Now I don't expect Maniacal, I mean, unless this item isn't Varia. I don't think that he's gonna skip out on the remainder of the wreck ship checks, just because he's already up here. He might as well do them.
Agreed.
But the Kraid kill does open up the Kraid E-Tank room, so it's possible that Varia
I'm
as well.
not sure where Magoo's going right now.
Is he just trying to Forgotten Highway his way to wreck ship? Maybe because
maybe he was
Dragon's not dead.
Yeah. Maybe he was thinking Plasma would be open, but without yeah, you're right. Without Dragon dead, that's not a thing. So, Maniacal on the other hand, I see him doing the rest of wreck ship until and unless he finds Varia suit. X-ray is open to him, so he might do that on his way down, and then hit the Kraid E-Tank location. And then the last thing would be that sand pit. Like, I think at this point, you've essentially made your decision on the sand pit, so you just leave it to last and hope that it's not the answer. And E-Tank here at the E-Tank. I don't know if he actually took the save before this. With this loadout, I typically wouldn't take the save because, I mean, you've got a bazillion E-Tanks, you've got both suits, you've got space jump. Like, there's really... Spiky Room of Death is, at this point, you should not be dying to Spiky Room of Death with this loadout.
Right.
And he's got 2 more locations. And then we'll have, like I said, Kraid E-Tank and X-Ray. And to his mind, also that sand pit. Not going to be weighing on his mind.
Now, if they stumble upon Grapple...
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Technically, Shack Tool is open with Ice Beam.
Oh, even then? I was not even aware that that's in logic.
I think that maybe the one location Maniacal checks after Sandpit, just because the Sandpit you can route to the Shack Tool check, but I don't see either one of them going to that anytime soon. And it's just an E-Tank at the reserve, so we got one more shot, the wreck ship being the answer.
Yeah, Maniacal bumping into Grapple might raise an eyebrow for him for sure. Just because of the possibilities, not necessarily that the seed points to Varia being behind Shack Tool, or even then, like having to ice clip in the Shack Tool as well. But yeah, Varia this late scares me. It always does.
Yeah. For sure. At least the waterway check was done already. They had that speed booster early enough that they don't have to go back to that. That's the location that always scares me with a late speed booster.
Now, yeah, like I wonder if either Magoo or Maniacal are wondering to themselves, if the other player took, maybe not at this point, but if Varia was here and the other player took...
And there it is.
Okay. Varia Gravity. Nice.
So I could because of where Fantoon was being over at Dragon Spot, I kind of feel like this route was not forced. Once they hit gravity at Croc, they could have skipped Bubble Mountain. But I figure the items that they did get out of Bubble Mountain were good enough that I don't feel like it would. If it were me, I wouldn't feel like I wasted my time.
Yeah, true. It wouldn't. I feel like having to go to Meridia really early just doesn't seem like the play to go into like right off the bat, you know, especially going so deep. Meridia is huge, and having to like commit to a deep check and hoping that you don't bump into like Ridley, especially. I feel is pretty gutsy.
Yeah, I mean, once they got that gravity suit, they could have just gone straight to Meridia. But yeah, like I said, those items in Bubble Mountain were really good. The checking of Ridley at Kraid's area, really good, so that you don't have to worry about him showing up at the end of, like, the worst thing would be if I had gone all the way through Meridia and then found Ridley there, a Ridley that I can't defeat. All right, very nice quick kill on Magoo's part.
And that was a really interesting setup for Magoo. I don't know if I might have accidentally missed a. Oh, Manel's gonna check this. Sorry, I'm like all over the place. Magoo's setup for the great quick kill. I don't know if you use Moonwalk or not, but that looked pretty cool. The way that he just like ran to the spikes.
Yeah, Mike looks like he was thinking about checking the Kraid E-Tank, and maybe he checks it on the way back, but at the moment decides not to check it. And this will be a very easy Ridley fight for Maniacal. It's essentially the old route Ridley fight. And actually, in a funny sense, you could actually... In old route, you wouldn't want to use your supers, because the next thing you're doing is Torian, and you want to conserve those. Maniacal wanted to mix in some supers with the charge shots. He's going to get a nice free refill on the mini Kraid on his way out, and lots of time to pick up more supers before he goes to Torian, since he does have to do lower Norfair. He's doing a very nice job with this Ridley fight. Magoo gonna find out that there's nothing here at the reserve tank, but we'll shortly get to the actual Barrier Suit, the prize that he's looking for.
Yep. It's like Ridley doesn't want to die just yet.
Yeah, just needs to get him out of that pogo pattern so he can get picked up, and that's one dead Ridley. See if Maniacal even checks these. Like, the only thing he could pick up at this point that would be useful is that screw attack. Sees an E-Tank, decides not to pick it up.
Yeah, screw attack would just be like the one quality of life item that would make navigating through Lower Norfair the quickest. It's not really a big deal. He has a lot of power bombs too.
He's gonna check the Kraid E-Tank location.
And good job for Magoo finding Varia.
And Magoo is now in go mode. Maniacal choosing to ignore the reserve tank, and at this point, there's really no reason to pick that up.
Yeah, I think the only reason he checked those items are because although they're a room over, they're still pretty much in the way, so it wouldn't hurt if it did pay off.
And we're going to see Dragon in Lower Norfair, so you might see him pick that item up. But by the time he gets to Dragon, we're kind of getting to the point where that screw attack wouldn't even be useful anymore, so it wouldn't surprise me if he just skipped it.
Right. At best, it would be spring ball, but we know that spring ball is over at the reserve.
Yep. We'll see if Magoo also decides to do the Ridley fight before Lower Norfair. Not a huge difference, really, which one you do first. I personally would do the Ridley fight, if nothing else, but to make sure I don't forget it.
True. So you don't want that happening. That would be very, very embarrassing.
Yeah. But we did have a runner, I believe it was last night, forget to do Ridley. Fortunately, it did not cost him the race, as his opponent had already finished, but definitely don't want to see a repeat of that.
That's kind of funny. I thought, by the way that you phrased it, I was like, oh, they still won? But
if they had still won doing that, that would have been really impressive. And absolutely no reason to check screw attack area at this point. Maniacal setting up for fast pillars. Doesn't quite get it, so he'll just use some power bombs.
Yeah, it's a pretty tight stutter short charge there.
Yep. Probably not worth going back for if you don't get it the first time.
Oh yeah, no, not at all. Good attempt at it though, nonetheless. Like, just applaud the fact going for like some cool strats that I guess, that after running the game for a while, you kind of like start taking for granted, but you tend to forget that these strats aren't easy.
No, not at all. I like the way he froze the pirate there and used it as a platform to get up, even though, you don't need to do that here. But I think it saved a little bit of time compared to what you might have otherwise done. So it looked really cool. So we go about to enter Lower Norfair as well. You can go ahead and use just regular bombs there since he has them. Might as well make use of your regular bombs. Weird that even still we've only seen 15 supers. Maniacal at 2510, Magoo at 2015.
I'm like thinking about it. It's mainly because Magoo skipped a couple of checks.
Yeah.
But Magoo's not that far behind Maniacal.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he got his super pack that he has that Maniacal didn't, to be honest. They both skip different missile packs throughout the run.
Right. Thankfully,
this will be a very quick.
Have the charge beam microwave combo. So.
Full beam combo with the X-ray, where Dragon stands no chance here.
And that's just a laughable final G4 boss. Just
in a way, Dragon is the most interesting of the boss fights because there's just so many different ways you can kill her depending on what item set you have, whether it be the microwave, the grapple kill, speed booster kill, or just a flat out ammo kill.
Yeah, I remember like the constant speculation of like, how this boss was originally intended to like be fought. Maybe it ended up getting scrapped just because of how you can damage Dragon with Shine Sparks.
Yeah, the fact that you can damage Dragon with Shine Sparks is an argument that short charging is actually intended. No one actually knows. But
yeah, the fact that even like short charging Dragon, the actual damage that you do is halved, kind of like also adds to that. So it's like really interesting that's a thing.
Looks like Mania's gonna kill all these Iskigas so he can get a better shot at this speedball. And doesn't get it, but he's got bombs, so it's not a problem. So the question about why essentially the microwaving can't be used on Ridley. So the game, it doesn't, I mean, in the regular game, there's no non-glitchy way to have plasma beam for the Dragon fight. So they didn't bother to, and same thing with Fantoon, same thing with Batsun. So they didn't bother to code it so that the plasma properties wouldn't work on them. But you are fully expected to have the plasma beam for the Ridley fight, so they're going to make sure that you can't do these little tricks on it. And same thing with the Mother Brain fight. And Magoo just standing there waiting. Looks like Maniacal might want a little bit more ammo. He did check those power bombs and probably picks them up if it's a super pack. But he doesn't really need it, so he's not going to go too far out of it. So I don't think he checks this location. That's kind of a free location to check. And I think that's the only one that I would consider free on his path. So
yeah, everything would be otherwise just out of the way. And I mean, Maniacal's also like very comfortable.
Absolutely.
Having done plenty of these and his fair share of 90% runs. But I do find it kind of funny that, like, even myself, just running any percent, maximum 3 E-tanks the entire run.
Yep.
And I still get really, really concerned when I see a bunch of my E-tanks missing in a rando.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. I do it more when I do it a little more when I'm just watching other players. I feel like I'll look at their loadout of E-tanks. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe they should refill the ship because there's all those empty E-tanks. And I think,
right.
No, wait, it's still more than they'd have in an 80% run.
Yeah, I think it's just like this really funny, like, psychological thing that just ends up happening. It's just like the casual gamer inside of someone that you just feel like, I'm gonna die.
Yeah, like with what Maniacal has in terms of ammo, I don't think he stops the ship for anything. Like the only thing he could possibly want is to be full up for stand-up glitch. But with the Ice Beam and Supers, the Metroids will probably drop enough to get his health up. Then either he gets Baby Skip and keeps that health, or he misses Baby Skip and he refills. So either way, he should have a pretty good amount of health when he actually goes into the Mother Brain fight.
Well, with that, I've gathered all my intel on Team Slow for our next match. I appreciate it. Thank you for giving me all your tech. I'm joking. No, it's like you said, next week is let's just throw everything out the window and start fresh.
Yeah. Yeah, also, you'll notice Maniacal took a quick farm on those bugs on his way out. That's another indication of, let's just do a little bit of farming here, and then there's really no need to stop at the ship.
Seriously, because sometimes Metroids can be just wildly stingy with the drops. Really just depends on the day.
Ooh, nice speed strat there, getting that space jump into the blocks there. And of course, Maniacal not knowing where Magoo, his opponent, is. And Magoo still needs to go back and kill Ridley. Did the Lower Norfair play first, so yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I didn't catch that he didn't do it the first time. So it's a pretty big lead for Maniacal. Maniacal not knowing that. I mean, I've seen enough races where one person goes and refills the ship and the other person just runs right by them. That I need to, I only want to refill the ship if my ammo is in a state that I absolutely need it.
Yeah, I've seen some races lost because of that refill. It's like some people take it and then it's like about upwards to 15 or more seconds of a time loss, and you see another runner just run right past.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you never know, because obviously you're not supposed to know where your opponent is, and that's just the exciting factor.
All right, one last Metroid room for Maniacal. Has full ammo coming out of it.
Yeah, those were really clean rooms right there.
Absolutely. We're not quite done with Ridley yet.
Yeah,
Looks close to dead, but I don't think he's quite dead yet. There we go.
Really
There's a dead Ridley.
So stubborn. Probably the most stubborn of all bosses.
Also not going to check the item. At this point, Screw Attack and Grapple Beam the only look items at large. Maniacal looking good, and it looks like he gets the baby skip. Very nice.
What I like about these seeds too is, I like. Oh, okay. I was wondering if Monaco was not gonna save at all, but looks like he's opting to. I guess he feels like he has a comfortable lead.
His ammo is relatively low for MB1, and so this just wants to play it a little safe. He's been not. I mean, for the rest of the run, he hasn't really had to play it safe. So this might be just the one place where he decides to do it. I mean, he's probably gonna do stand-up glitch. Maniacal, as far as I know, always does stand-up glitch, and of course, things can go wrong there too. But he's usually pretty solid at that. I wouldn't expect anything to go wrong.
Yeah, like I have full confidence in Maniacal being able to execute. But yeah, I mean, understandable. Like, you'll never know what happens.
Yep, I do feel like he could take one death / stand-up disaster. Can't take two.
I don't know. Maniacal, show her.
Well, I'm sure we don't. I'm sure he doesn't want to test that theory.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
Through Mother Brain 1, through Mother Brain 2, which really isn't that scary with this beam combination. A runner like Maniacal should not have trouble there.
Yeah, and there's ways to play this out. Like, it's incredibly safe. We should be touching down in Torian real soon.
This could be a real good time for both runners, and Maniacal's should easily sub-hour this. Who's not going to be that far. He might still be able to sub-hour this. If not, he's going to be awfully close.
Yeah, I feel like skipping the cutscene and all that, it seems very possible. This stand-up glitch is looking really good, honestly.
It really is. Four shots. Very nicely done.
I'd probably still have like 7 shots to go.
I just don't do stand-up glitch, so I still have the full, 36 shots with the hyper beam. Maniacal's teammate soul scream, very critical.
He's just living up to the team name. Slow.
Absolutely. And sadly, we won't be seeing a blue bomber, or we weren't going to see a blue bomber since no spring ball. I know Maniacal likes to at least give that at least one shot when he's racing. Magoo going for his baby skip.
Oh, really good recoveries. Wow. Really nice job.
Nicely
wow.
done.
One thing that I do miss about the route, Rando, is accidentally saving the animals.
Yeah.
I feel like you just live with that shame.
Maniacal can enter the ship with an official time of 55:15. GG's to Maniacal.
That's a really nice time. Good game. Scoring another win for Slow. And we'll get a chance to chat with him to see, have him share his thoughts, how he feels. I would think that he feels pretty pleased with his performance.
Yeah,
honestly.
I think that was a really nice run. Definitely one of the better runs we've seen this week. I mean, the only decision I could possibly question was the decision to not do the sand pit right away, and it turned out that I'm sure he had it in his mind of when he would route it back in if he had to. That's just the kind of player he is, and it worked out in his favor because it turned out to be the wrong answer to go there. So
yeah, there's usually always like those type of plays where you're like, I can see myself doing this, but then the runner does something else, and that's just I think that adds to the flavor of every individual runner's play style.
Yeah, it looks like Magoo not bothering to do stand-up. It may be because, he's seen the dot done. He just wants to finish and may not want to risk it. Maybe he would have gone for it if he still thought he had a chance to win. It's always rough when you see that dot done in Turian. I've had 3 of those this season, so...
Oh, just as like you're about to finish up and everything?
Yeah, yep. And we do have Maniacal joining us. GG's, that was a really nice run.
Good game, Maniacal.
Hey, thanks. GG's. That was a pretty nice seed, all things considered.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, so take us back to you get to Norfair. First of all, you went down, which is, I kind of like the up play when you have a suit. We didn't have a suit, so you went down. Full clear in Norfair before even checking the boss. What was the thought process there? I kind of like that, but it's what you decided to do.
So I decided kind of early on that I like the 2 majors at high jump against the 50-50. Like I was looking at an expected, because first off, I thought about doing Bryn Start route with that loadout. Mm-hmm. And if you do Bryn Start, you're basically pricing yourself into the wrecked ship shack. And if you don't, I feel like you're advantaged to go downright tower instead. Mm-hmm. So when I didn't do early wrecked ship, I knew I was also stranding Gauntlet, but Gauntlet couldn't be a suit. Mm-hmm. So I was looking at what Kraid could be, and if you have intel about the wrecked ship boss, then you're looking at like potentially a 2 and 3 is bad, or a 1 and 3 is bad if you have no suit.
Yep.
Whereas I was looking at a 50-50, so the expected value of me actually getting an item out of that is either 1 or 0.5, depending on whether it's Kraid or not, or Fantoon. And if it's Fantoon, it's actually 0.
Yeah,
and it would route me back up. So it's 0 or 1. And so I guess the expectation is 0.5 items out of doing the Kraid check, plus intel. Whereas if you go down, you're guaranteed 2 items, especially because of speed and charge plasma. I was committed to high jump, ice, Croc Slayer, and then reassessing. And I thought about bailing on Bubble Mountain, but I felt like My route was very clean. I had gotten charged plasma, picked up very minimal miners. Like I was probably ahead on fanfares.
Yeah.
I felt like I was in a good position there, and so I felt like the Bubble Mountain checks could pay out. And I got convenience items, nothing insane, but good stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, high jump and ice were there, if I remember correctly, which is,
Yeah, good.
At that point not needed, but yeah, definitely nothing you're going to turn down. So then you do check, and it was Ridley.
Yeah. So I wanted to split with the tube because I had the prongs of X-ray, Kraid, and then Meridia available. And because I knew it was Ridley, which was actually kind of almost a best case scenario, I knew I would be able to beat the Meridia boss and the wrecked ship boss and have that route available. So that worked out pretty nicely to just kind of put me on a string. The only thing I was really worried about was that Varia could have been at X-ray and not backtracking immediately from that space jump. Had me a little worried about it. And so,
go ahead.
No, did we ever see it was at X-ray?
No.
Okay.
We did see the sand pit. That was the one I was going to ask you. I know you're a veteran at SMZ3, and we save scum that sand pit item all the time. So I was a little surprised you didn't at least do that. Turns out it was Spring Ball, so you didn't miss anything out of it.
Well, then I missed Blue Bomber, so that makes me sad.
Okay, I can hear you on this.
Yeah, and welcome in Magoo, who finished up with a time of 59.56. Also a very nice run.
Thank you.
So yeah, you all were on pretty similar routes. Magoo, you checked the Kraid boss a little bit earlier than Maniacal did. I believe you both did Croc, and then Maniacal went straight to Bubble Mountain, and you checked the boss there, and then did Bubble Mountain.
Yeah.
And
to Gravity.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry.
Okay, bet on Croc, and I was so happy to get this bet. So good.
Yeah, Croc had the gravity suit hookup. It was pretty great.
Yep.
That was an interesting play. Honestly, I don't think I've seen that before. Like even just like going down before checking the Kraid boss location, and then like gunning it to Crocomire. I thought that was really cool of both of you going for that.
Yeah, which if it's not speed plus charge plus plasma, maybe I routed a little differently, but it was, so.
Yeah, I mean, you can route it and go to ice second instead of first.
Yeah.
You can then run straight down there. You have the one-shot Croc fight. I mean, it's pretty quick.
You just get 7 majors very, very quickly out of Upper Norfair. I was close to leaving with gravity post Croc, and like after doing the grapple check and then putting Bubble Mountain off until later. But that's extra elevators, and I didn't want to.
Yeah, we do see. Let's see, we've got the credits on Magoo's side. I did not see on your credits, Maniacal, where the only thing we didn't find was grapple and screw attack. So.
Yeah.
Grapple was at plasma, and screw attack was at spring ball. So you weren't getting those items. just a big time no.
Did you take the Forgotten Highway to go to Wreck Chip?
No, I went out through Red Tower, back through Botwoon's hallway.
Because I don't remember, but I think we have to go to Meridia to kill Fentune to get gravity to get Varia then.
Yes.
Yep.
Alright. So wow, you should have a really good route.
Yeah. So when Varia was at gravity and not at X-ray, like I felt like my route was just almost ideal. Like it worked out really well for me.
Yeah, I think both your routing was really similar. Just the only difference, Magoo checking that sand pit was the biggest difference, and the slightly change of order in terms of when you went to Bubble Mountain, but just really similar routing.
Honestly,
I made a huge mistake to wanted to check the plasma.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
forgot
Forgot
that you
about
couldn't
that.
do that until Dragon's killed in this.
Yeah.
And since Dragon was down in Lower Norfair, you weren't going to be able to do that.
No.
It's confusing for sure.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Like once wrecked ship was crayed for the boss, I was just like, okay, there's very few locations that gravity or that Varia could actually be.
Yep.
I think a better route may have actually been checking the sand pit, doing X-ray on the way up Red Tower, and then going into wrecked ship, because then you really know that you need to dig out upper wrecked ship at that point. But I think maybe that was just a routing mistake on my part. It worked out in my favor. But,
yeah. Every once in a while, mistakes work out,
That's what we were thinking too.
Yeah,
You didn't play Ice Beam, did you?
I did. Ice Beam was Wave?
I want to say it was the reserve tank.
It was,
yeah, left side of.
Yeah, it was Norfair Reserve. That's right.
Yeah, because I think it was Ice, High Jump, and then I don't remember. Was it Wave? Probably an E-Tank.
Yeah, it was a reserve actually, is what it was.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Either way, something you didn't need at that point. So.
Yeah.
Last item took me much time than the two others.
Yeah, I saved in Bubble Mountain, hoping to be able to save scum the items, and then of course the first 2 checks I do are 2 items that I really want to keep.
I know. Yep.
Ain't that always the way?
Yep.
So really good game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it was really an interesting race. So
yeah, it was an interesting scene,
sure.
Interesting race between 2 great runners. Just a fun one to watch, a fun one to call. I do have a question from your teammate Solsky. He says, "How does it feel to be able to stay on the team?"
Feels good enough.
All right. All right.
But yeah, GG again. I just want to plug both the runners in. Make sure to give them a follow. Really nice done, well jobbed. And also special thanks to Scoopula for the tracking. Really, really kind of them. Thank you, Tracy, for having me on board.
Yeah. The true MVPs of the races are the trackers. So I definitely have big shout outs to Scoopula for tracking for us today.
Yeah, big thanks to you, Tracy, and Sephi for signing up to commentate this one. I'm sure it'll be a blast to watch back. I hope you all had fun with it. Big thanks to Steve for tracking and for Migu for the race. And thanks to all of French Force for being great about scheduling. I know the time zone thing can be a real nightmare sometimes. So I was glad we were able to find times that really worked for all of us.
That's good.
All right. Anything else you all want to add before we close this out?
No, thank you to all of you. Really great commentating.
Good luck on your future races, both of you. Just we have some fun ones. I know your team, Michael, you and I are gonna have some fun ones.
Oh man, doing Dragon Race, Steffi? Is that what's going down?
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Unless,
baby.
So
Let's go.
Think what you should do is you should bench Solsky.
I tried.
I just want to put Derp and Maniacal. I'm just kidding. No, whoever you choose, whoever is available, I think it's just going to be fun overall. I can't wait.
We have some internal fighting going on for the privilege of racing this week. The mode's going to be crazy, and the matchup's crazy for sure. I'm looking forward to it.
I look forward to it.
All right, so this is not the end of the day for us. We actually still have 2 more races coming up. At 7 o'clock, my teammate Ace Zero from the Hylian Space Jump Frogs is going to be playing Nasarius from the Clippers. That'll be right here on Speed Gaming 2. And then at 10 o'clock, we have Beef Robber of Johnny B. Croak versus Canadian Owl of Vile Plumes. That'll be over on Speed Gaming 3. So that'll do it. Those 2 races will close out a really nice spread out day of lots of Super Metroid Randomizer. Shout outs to all the runners this week for scheduling far apart on a Saturday. But yeah, that's going to do it for us. Otherwise, I'd like to thank our runners, Maniacal and Magoo, for putting on a great show. my partner Sephi for commentating with me. Always a pleasure, and of course, never forget our tracker Scoopula for doing the hard work behind the scenes and clicking those buttons. It's a lot harder than you all think if you've never done it before. Definitely need those trackers. But yeah, Sephi, why don't you close us out?
All right. Well, everyone, just again, make sure to stay tuned later today for those races. It's been swell. Good luck. Enjoy the rest of your days, and we will see you here a little bit later. All right. So stay tuned. Fan tuned. See ya.